afraid to leave his brother and is afraid that he doesn't know what to do. And I'm sure there were so many people in the audience that were going to college and they were afraid of leaving their sibling, and they could just feel that they could connect to the character. And that's what I want my films to do, is I want them to stand out and connect to people.
Would you say that always you should always take inspiration from real life events and elements in order to make that happen? Is that the best approach?
Yeah, I think if you want your film to stand out, you need to really think about yourself and your emotions. I've used a lot of my struggles in my life to tell stories in my films. The films, they aren't just, I didn't just think of them in my head and just like, oh, this is a fictional story. They happened to me. Like obviously I didn't kill anyone, but I was concerned that in the world that we live in, there's a good chance that the crime could happen. There's a good chance that something bad could happen to him, and that I would love for my brother to have a happy life where he would never have to leave the door and be afraid that he's going to die, you know. So there's a lot of emotional impacts that come to being a writer and a director when you're making these stories. Is your story needs to be based off you. It's going to mean 10 times more when the audience leaves the theater and knows, man, Austen is actually scared of leaving his brother. And I know that because I just watched his movie, where in the movie the character was afraid of leaving his brother. Like it's an emotional impact, and people are gonna connect to it more.
There's an element of authenticity in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think with the serial killer movie, it's called My Brother's a Psycho. It was at a time where I was very angry, and the movie is about an angry serial killer, and he does everything for his brother to have the perfect life. And it kind of, I'm click off if you don't. I'm gonna spoil this movie. I'm sorry. I need, it's a very important story. He kills people to protect his brother, and by the end of the film, um his brother's the one that calls the cops on him, and he gets arrested and he gets his life taken away, and he goes through this traumatic thing of, I gave my brother everything I had in my life, everything. I gave him all my love, all my care. I killed people for him, and it wasn't enough for him to appreciate, and he took my life away. And it was this anger thing of a real life emotion that I was feeling for someone, where I thought I did everything for them and it still wasn't enough and they left. And I used that emotion that I felt in real life to tell this story about a guy that wanted his brother to be safe and wanted to give all of his love and his care to his brother. So he killed people. He did the wrong thing, but with the right intentions, and it still wasn't enough for his brother, and his brother ruined his life in a way. So like that's an example of how I create movies, is I use a real life emotion and I make it an interesting story.
There we go.
That's how you be a writer and a director.
I mean, that's one of the ways, right?
Yeah.
I know, for example, Christopher Nolan. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
He
That is
like.
my favorite director.
Do you like him? He's
He's
amazing,
my
right?
favorite. Yeah. He's my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, he's the one behind Batman and the
Yeah.
Dark Knight. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
I
Yep.
know that I don't know for Batman, but I know for a lot of his movies, he takes a lot of concepts that are, let's say, paradoxes in life. For example, for the
Yeah.
Tenet, he guys, I don't
Yeah.
remember all the scientific paradoxes, but he always take like a time paradox and tries to make some movie out of it. Or
Yeah.
there's also another one that the characters are Memento. I think that's also from him.
Mhm.
They are
That's his first film.
that's his first one. Like the whole movie is backwards. He always takes like a scientific concept or some type of paradox and base the movie around that. There's always the
Yeah.
motion in there, but the core pillar is the paradox.
Yeah.
Like for example, Inception as well. A dream within a dream. Like
Yeah.
it's like mind blowing.
And that's why he's one of the greatest directors. He stands out. He has his own style. That's how you have to stand out, is you have to have your own style. You can't blend in. And my style is I take real emotions that I've felt and make a compelling story where you can relate to the characters and the story. And then emotions that I felt are probably emotions that other people have felt, or other emotions that other people have felt. And then they connect to the story, and then they see the story and feel the story in the way that I do. So
Mhm.
that's why I do it.
And stories are crucial. They are essential for us as humans in order to learn and evolve. That's why they exist in the first place. That's why
Yeah.
Hollywood is Hollywood. That's why we're drawn to stories so much. It's fundamentally how we learn from an early age. If you recall, I don't know the tales in the US, but I'm sure there are many like the wolf. If you cry wolf, they're gonna,
Mhm.
like those are all little tales. That's how we learn. It's through those
Yeah.
stories, and I can relate to what you said. There's a lot of movies nowadays. You just go to the cinema and it's shallow. It's just content.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours
Yeah.
of explosions, and you get out of there and you just forgot it. You forget about it.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, it's like it's over. You don't take anything away with it.
My biggest fear in a film is I would rather someone tell me that was the worst thing I've ever seen than it was a good
What?
movie. I'm gonna forget about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be average. That is scary. Like I get scared that I'm gonna make a movie, someone's gonna watch it and they go, "Yeah, it was great. Oh, I'll forget about it tomorrow." Like that's so boring. Like why did I spend all this time for someone to say it was okay? I'd rather someone say I didn't like it, but here's why, and I think you could have done this, or I really liked this. You're going on the right path. I'd rather you say you like the film or you don't like the film than just say it was average. I didn't really care.
You mentioned The Last of Us for a second there. Did you play the
Yeah,
game?
I played both. Yes.
All right. So, you know how impactful it is.
Yeah.
Why would you say that making movies then is more impactful? Would you say that?
That making movies is more impactful than video games.
Yeah, and because on the video game you're actually engaging with the character, you're controlling the character. Many would say that the emotional punch, that's how you say it, the emotional
Yeah.
impact is even higher. So, what do you have to say on that?
I would actually say that video games are more impactful
They're
for
more
the
effect.
video
Okay.
games I've played because I just think they have the ability to tell so much more story than movies do. You know, movies only